You're listening to a Platforms podcast, your source for cutting-edge, relevant Torah. Enjoy.
Gehenom. So I'll just quote the Ramchal just on this so we can go more speedily. But the Ramchal basically he says like this. He says, now I'll be honest, I never went there and it didn't come back. I don't have one of those stories. But I'll tell you what the Ramchal says. I think, if I remember correctly, but you'll look it up, make sure. Fact check me that he did it right. So in Maimer, he has an essay basically about this. So he says that the soul and the body, they have this union. We call it birth. And that union goes on, and man lives out his life, and he makes a lot of choices in his life, and then he dies. And the soul and the body are separated from each other. And the soul is longing to return to its lover, and the body is totally bewildered. And consciousness, in that regard, stays the same. And the body feels this pain of deconstruction, where it breaks down, decomposes. And that's the kapara for that body. Now, if it's a tzaddik, theoretically, they tell these maisim. I don't know. You should believe these maisim, but they tell these maisim of the Nazis digging up the Noam Eliyahu's grave, and his body was intact. No, okay, I don't know if they're true, but they tell these maisim. You can find them online. They're widespread. So if the body doesn't need a kapara, which each mitzvah incorporating to a different limb of the body, if it doesn't need that kapara, then it won't get it. So what's a kapar and what's a tikkun? Kapar is to wipe away. Kaper, when you have blood on your clothing, you wipe it away, or you cover it up and you wipe it away. That's called kapar. So there's a goal, a completion, a shleimus that a person is trying to achieve in this life. There's the complete man that he's trying to become. You're not born in Adam. So, no, I'm not born in Adam. That's insulting. No. The Gemara says, Ein Tov, Ein Adam, unless you're married. Oh man, because it's Zacha Unekeva Bram. Adam Zacha Unekeva Bram. And Adam is a man and a female together. And Adam is not, you're an Ish, okay, but you're not yet an Adam. Anyway, so you have to achieve it. So you have to achieve this shleimus. And when you go through this shleimus, now sometimes we fall a little short. We do a good act. A guy comes in and we give him a little charity, We do a little learning, but we want the guy to see that we can really steig, We do it, but we don't have the right motivations. We do it, but the right outcome doesn't occur. We do it, but we don't have the right zrizus. We do it, but we don't have the right yiras. We do it, but we don't have the right simcha. We do the mitzvahs, but we do them, oh God, on another day it's fun. You're going to eat your children alive. But you get schar for the little bit of good you did. Don't worry. In this world, you eat your children alive. There's a punishment for that. But in the world to come, you get your due. Okay, but you get your due. But it's half dross, half silver, half gold, half other elements. So it has to be smelted. It has to be refined. Has to remove the dross. Gehenom is this process. If you make it to Gehenom, good luck. Good job. You did it. It's just like totally opposite in Christianity. Like, don't go to hell. Like, if you made it to hell, good job. The other option is charis. The soul is totally gone. Cease to exist. To be or not to be. The worst is not to be. If there's nothing redeemable, you didn't achieve any existence. There is no you. There's really nothing to destroy, but there's no you. That's the worst. Now, if you achieve some being, some existence, some you, okay, you achieved a little bad there too. We'll smelt it out. 11 months, you made it to Gehenom. Congratulations. You're going to make it to the world to come. Lucky you. Not all of us even make it to Gehenom. You have to be fortunate that he takes you there. Anyway, so the first process is life. Soul separates, it goes to the world of souls, whatever that means. It goes to the world of souls and it goes through refinement. There's this smelting. Now, what kind of refinement does the soul go through? You can understand it as a consciousness, as something ethereal. It will describe it in a gadata, as a gadata always has to use physical words to describe it. Like any complex or esoteric concept, we have to use words we understand in order to do it. There's a smelting process, there's a refinement, there's a modification, there's an alignment of its values, there's a removal of the false values that it's acquired through it, there's moving of the shell, so on and so forth. It goes, once it's been refined, it basks in the infinite glory of God, and it waits to return to its body. The body goes through its purification process, particularly when it breaks down, a new body is made, the two return to each other, what we call tchis hamesim. If you're zocha, we have what's tchis hamesim, the body returns to the soul, and you go through perpetual growth. The physical existence becomes what we now think of spiritual, and the spiritual existence becomes something we can't even imagine of. Perpetual growth for the rest of eternity. There's a transformation. There's this process of when the body returns to the soul. So we're physical, but we're not the same kind of physical. So there's, just in very short, there's 4 kinds of creations that happen in Ma'aseh Bereishis. Everyone knows Shemayim Va'aretz. Then the one of man, right? Bara, that's create man. And then the last one is these Taninim Gedolim. He kills one, he puts it aside, because salt is, if you salt fish, it's really good after 6,000 years. It really preserves it. 6,000. He kills one, they won't propagate. Okay, there's a physical existence that is reserved for the world to come. So what we now perceive as physical existence will not be. Now there is a physical existence, but that physical existence will be what we perceive as spiritual existence, and that spiritual existence will be something that we can't possibly even imagine of. There's the transforming. When we put the two together without any limitations on them, they perfect each other, and then we become an achievement that is really the fruit of all the actions that we did. We could have got it in this world, but only 10 of us did.
This has been a Platforms podcast. Please share it with your friends. If you can think of one person to send it to, please take the time. It truly is the best way to help us out. If you have any comments or suggestions, please go and email platformspodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you.